talking of Manchester United, we're now joined live from Manchester by our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. Good morning, David. Plenty to get through this morning. We'll start, shall we, with the gigantic job that Erik ten Hag is taking on. He's been saying that he's focusing on Ajax till the end of the season, but there is no doubt in anyone's mind that he is also already starting his Manchester United job right now because, David, there is just so much to do.
Rebecca, it's one of the biggest jobs in world football at the best of times, let alone given the position that Manchester United are in at the moment. But finally, it got announced on Thursday of last week. That's because Erik ten Hag signed a contract that's going to run for 3 years with the option of a fourth. They also reached an agreement, Manchester United, with Ajax over his release. They actually did it outside of his release clause in his Ajax contract, which was only valid between the 16th of May and the 15th of June. So United wanted to do it as soon as possible, and they managed to find a consensus on what they would pay Ajax. And that lifted a weight off the shoulders of everybody involved. It put an end to the process that we have explained to you throughout on NBC. And it also meant that Manchester United and Ten Hag could speak freely with and about potential coaching staff. It's expected that he will bring Mitchell van der Gaag with him from Ajax. He used to sit in the stands. He's now going to come down onto the bench at Old Trafford. And conversations are ongoing with the likes of Steve McLaren. Of course, he's been at Manchester United before, worked with Erik ten Hag at FC20, and he would like to bring him with, but no agreement has been reached yet. Other names in the frame have included Wayne Rooney and many others besides. I don't think Rooney will happen because he wants to focus on his own managerial career. Now, we can reveal to you today a number of details about this process that has led Manchester United to Ten Hag. One of them is that he actually held multiple meetings with Manchester United. It wasn't just one interview. His representatives spoke to them at length as well. And throughout that process, he was the standout candidate above Maurizio Pochettino, above Julen Lopetegui. And he emerged as the man that United decided to put their trust in for the years ahead. He also spoke to the Glazers in person, Joel and Avram Glazer, and that was said to be a pivotal meeting. There was also a man called Mike Ford involved. He was a former executive at Chelsea. He's now based in the US, and he's very close to United and the Glazer family as well. He's a consultant in high-level sports performance. So it led to the point now where Erik ten Hag is going to come in when he's finished with Ajax. He's already planning around recruitment and visions for the club. He pored over the contract to make sure he got absolutely everything he wanted. He's even apparently, according to reports in the UK today, looking at where to live, possibly Manchester city centre, and immerse himself in what is a massive project.
Now, Manchester City are working in a whole different world. They're working on the likes of Erling Haaland coming to the Etihad this summer, possibly with Gabriel Jesus going the other way. What can you tell us? Is Haaland coming to the Premier League, David?
Rebecca, another story we've brought to our audiences pretty much exclusively here, and we can now say that Erling Haaland is on course to join Manchester City. It is not a done deal, but I understand he has given his approval to the move and that initial personal terms have been agreed. When I say initial, that means that it all needs to be formalised. It all needs to be put into writing. They need to go through the contract, which is going to be extremely complex, and put the rubber stamp on everything. They need to reach an agreement on agents' fees, on the clause that they will pay to Borussia Dortmund for his services, which is said to be 75 million euros. But it's moving in the right direction for Manchester City. They think that they have beaten off competition from Real Madrid and others to secure one of the hottest properties in world football. But somebody must make way by the looks of it, and we think that will be Gabriel Jesus, who is out of contract in 2023. And the top target for Arsenal is Gabriel Jesus. His agent has been talking to their technical director, Edu, for months. He's thought to be open to the move. The clubs have not spoken yet, so there's still a way to go in that one. 4 goals yesterday, and he could well be bringing that to the Emirates Stadium in the summer.
Wow, the idea of Haaland coming to the Premier League is a tasty one. And just finally, David, quickly on Burnley. Mike Jackson, 4 points from 2 games. Are we to assume he is now the interim manager for the rest of the season?
Burnley's plan, Rebecca, was to appoint a new interim manager and then a permanent guy, unless they could find a permanent guy now. But Jackson has done so well in these first two games that it looks like, from people I speak to, that they will stick with him for the time being, hope that he brings them to survival, and then make a permanent appointment in the summer. From players I speak to, and I said on air last week that they were quite supportive of the decision. No disrespect to Sean Dyche, but Mike Jackson has lifted the place. There's freedom on the training ground. You can see it in their match stats, and we may see it again today. So I think Mike Jackson most likely until the end of the season, and then a permanent appointment to replace Sean Dyche in the summer. Let's see if Burnley actually survive for what would be a sixth complete season in the Premier League.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches and much more.